Hello and welcome back to my GTNH playthrough. It is January 6th, 2026, and we are over here in my main battery power. So you can see, it may not be immediate obvious, but I did change out the glass on this guy to some UV tier glass, and that is because we needed energy hatches. And that in itself is because we are producing way more power now. Actually, this guy just kicked on, so we can see taking an input right now of 26 million EU per tick. And that'll go up more as all the turbines ramp up, because like I said, this thing literally just turned on. Actually, why is this not showing? There we go. Yeah, this guy down here is producing 25 million EU per tick. But yeah, let's hop down here and kind of go through what I got done today. So the obvious thing is I got my first Naquadah reactor set up. As we left off last night, I had talked about making Mark III fuel, which is still in the short-term near future. However, I realized from looking at the wiki, I was just kind of looking for numerical values to see how much each thing produced. And I realized that using what's it called? Molten Naquadah as a booster, as well as the cryolithium that we use in the freezers. We actually get, 25 million. I didn't realize it was that high. I thought it was closer to 10, so I was going to push for the Mark III. But 25 million is, it's kind of crazy, honestly. This little machine produces nearly 4 times as much as all these guys combined. Like this entire setup, including the mega distillation tower over here that was struggling to keep up. Yeah, this thing is 3 times faster by itself. And I could have made it first. Like there's nothing in here that would have prevented it. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not perfect in the sense of it would have been a little limiting, and I'll show why here in a little bit, but yeah, no, it's crazy. And like, just like that, the thing's already cut off, so we're actually starting to make gains again on supercritical steam. I've got a backlog, which is cool. So that means too, if the big guy over by my mass producing goes off, it actually has some steam to run off of, because I was running out of that steam. But yeah, so the setup real quick. So this multi-block, is about as straightforward of a multi-block you can get. For my case, I've got my, maintenance hatch just hooked up to the same conduit running around everywhere. Output hatch for the depleted stuff. This input hatch, which I've been watching. So when I first set this guy up, I was only at 140, I believe. So it is slowly creeping up. So this guy is keeping up with the power and gaining. And then over here, we've just got the cryolithium and liquid air. I'm not going to run over to the tower. Actually, I might show it off. But now basically, I just set up a vacuum freezer. Well, technically, the cryolithium freezer with 9 intake hatches. So it's just, we should actually have tons of liquid air at this point. Oh yeah, at least actually popping up here. We got 500 million. I just want to make sure it never ran out. What's actually kind of funny, and I didn't realize because I was trying to figure, it felt like when I first set this up, I should say, that it wasn't producing power, and that's because I actually forgot to put the liquid air in. But it will run without the liquid air. It'll just turn the fuel into the depleted version and not produce any power. So I thought maybe because it's running on this, well, if we're running right now, it would say, it's taking 3 seconds to use whatever liters of fuel. So I was like, oh, maybe it just like dumps packets of energy. It's not actually the case when it's running. As we saw when I clicked on here, we get the big input, and it was all just because I forgot to put liquid air on there. That's actually the whole reason this guy set up, is I was trying to troubleshoot. I even set up UV energy hatches to make sure I didn't set this thing up wrong. This is actually my first active transformer, which am kind of tempted. I'm not going to, at least if I do, not for a while, redo parts of my power grid the way I am setting stuff up, because this guy is kind of crazy. And then so you can take any amount of energy in and output, like, so like this guy is a 256 amp laser hatch. We're not producing that much, obviously, but you know, say I could put a ULV energy hatch over here and it would output it just fine. Like nothing would blow up. I don't have to have all the intermediate steps. So like in reality, I should probably have a bunch of these everywhere instead of using a bunch of channels. But this is currently how I'm set up. So maybe as I expand more in the future, I might utilize these more than I've currently been. But yeah, this is a really straightforward multi-block. It's really just the controller, these high power casings, and then in the center of it, there's one super conducting coil block for like the Mark I fusion reactors. But yeah, simple as in and out. And the whole reason this guy here is to bend the laser. I wanted to throw this thing down here. Technically, I could have thrown it up there and thrown a laser hatch, but I don't know. I figured I just don't want it to be as cramped because everything else is over here is cramped. So yeah, that's this guy. As soon as I have Mark III fuel, I will change it out. I won't even have to change any of the setup just because this is the Mark III fuel, according to the wiki, with all the boosters I have over there, I believe it's like 193 amps of UV, which in itself is pretty crazy, but we'll get there once I have that all set up. For the moment, this is plenty. So once I got that done, like I said, my next goal was to start setting up assembly lines, which I didn't quite get to because I noticed yesterday I was crafting. What was I crafting? Oh yeah, it was something. It was I was trying to craft the portal to the Texas Toxic Everglades, and my PCB boards were being held up. So I was like, okay, so since that's actually causing a problem, the circuit boards, I did decide to do that next. So over here in this building, which is where I was, where I had the wraps being produced over in these guys, which another mini tangent. I never said, so originally my plan was to have each one of these set up for a different wrap. That way they never like interfered with each other. But realistically, these things keep up plenty fast. But honestly, because then I decided to have all the wrap recipes run off the same thing, so I wasn't wasting channels and stuff. Honestly, this guy should have just been a precision assembler, especially now that I can make the higher casings. It would both be faster and better parallelization. But since this guy keeps up just fine as it is right now, I'm going to leave it. And then eventually, if I ever need to, I'll swap this to a couple of precision assemblers instead. Which there is a good possibility that will be needed eventually. But with how fast it is right now, I think for the near foreseeable future, this guy should be fine as is. But so I set up, and you can see I have cobblestone because I was laying out the upgrades because I didn't want to put myself in a position later where I go to upgrade these and I've run out of room. I did 4 over here because there are basically 4 circuit boards currently that I was crafting in the PCB factories. I left the wetware over back in the auto crafting tower just because there's the biolab that is needed for that thing to be able to work. And then the rest of these are set up with advanced circuit boards. And if we look down below, we got a couple channel saving things going on. You know, this again is just my auto taping stuff. And then I've got this red line right here is for the outputs of items. And then they just output right into a storage bus that is connected to an interface that connects to this white line here, which is the main network. Then the yellow network's just power. So I got that done not too long ago, so I haven't really been able to see how well it's keeping up or like how fast things are going. It does feel like things are going a lot faster because I'm pretty sure if we look at my wrapped, yeah, I've got 3,000, 4,000. When I last left this was at 1,000, but I bumped these up because I knew I needed a lot more for crafting the compact fusion reactor and a few other things. So I bumped up the level maintainer for these guys to be 10,000 instead. I have not bumped up this one, which is going to be an important one too, because we need to get faster reps of neural processing, which were the assembly lines I was going to set up. However, once I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, I need to make a bunch of data hatches, which I could technically just make a bunch of data sticks for this guy, and I might do that, but I was like, oh, I'll make the data bank because I haven't done that yet. And honestly, I really want to, because if we hop over to where my assembly lines currently are in this tower, we can see I'm having to keep a ton of patterns over here. I have to trade things around, which is part of why I wanted to. I mean, I needed to start spreading out anyways, just for throughput, but I really need to make that data center to like start expanding. So I was a little conflicted. I think what I'm going to do, and the reason I stopped to make the video now instead of I was originally planning on pushing further before I made today's video, is I'm going to make the data center, get that done now, do it right, set that up somewhere down here, and then connect all these ones. I won't worry about because they're all dedicated stuff right now. This guy will get connected to the data center with basically everything, and then I'll have the data center stuff run down here, which is where we're going to start spamming assembly machines, specifically starting with the neural processing one, then all the wetware circuits to get those spam processing. I think my initial goal, and I have it set to craft them right now, is going to be 16 neural processing ones, then basically compounding down 16 neural processing to 8 of the first wetware, 8, 4, 2, and 1. I think that should do me just fine for a while. And yeah, that's where I'm at right now for this. I did say run over to the Naquadah building real quick, just show off a couple of random things. It'll only take a second. So in the Naquadah building, this guy is now constantly running. I actually changed my mind. I originally was using a level maintainer to house the Naquadah fuel, but we have enough of a backlog now that we got heavy 2 million, light 5.9, and that's with a couple of UV buses already being full, so those both have 500,000 in them a piece. So realistically, at some point, maybe whenever I get to the ability to finally be able to comfortably craft the compact reactors, maybe I'll make multiple or try to make 2. Like, I'm definitely not doing this idea first because I want to get in it all and kind of start moving onwards and making other improvements. But there is a good chance I'll either upgrade this or parallelize this with some more reactors. This is the freezer I added for liquid air, which it's, yeah, even with 9 intakes at ZPM, it actually doesn't quite keep up, but that's fine. Like I said, I have 500 million liquid air, so it's keeping up just fine enough. And then we got over here making Mark 1, which I have been keeping an eye on, making sure the Mark 1 fuel is keeping up as well, just because I know I'm close to to the point of Naquadah dust where I have on here for the level emitter turn off. I might have to set up the second half for enriched Naquadah to also get turned into the first step of making Mark 1 fuel. But my goal is kind of to be able to make Mark 3 fuel before having to do that, and then I can disable this line and not worry about wasting Naquadah. Or, I don't know. I know I'll still need it actually because of the Naquadah gas. So, and then the very last thing, real quick, is so I have not set up a void miner over here because I got distracted and kind of forgot. I do believe I have it crafted. Void miner. Yeah, I got it crafted. So I just need to set this up. I should probably make sure I do this first tonight, just so I'm starting to build Tiberium up as a resource, which is one of the things needed for the Mark III. This is the wrong portal. That's the portal to the Nether. Real good. I set up this guy. This guy is the portal to the Toxic Everglades. And if you've never been over here, basically this is what it looks like. Just a green, poisonous world. But yeah, This is where I'll set up a void miner in here because this is where we get all the Bart's ores. I actually noticed too, just kind of a random interesting thing, is if you use this guy to scan for ores, I think because they're not GT ore veins, like they don't actually show up on this, nothing's here, so that's interesting. But yeah, that's all I got for you. Appreciate anybody for watching, and hope you guys have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye. I don't know what that was.